You know what the problem is? The problem is I think the raid community can be really harsh on the newer players. That's my opinion. I honestly genuinely think people are afraid to raid because of the fact that you actually have to practice the raid mechanics, obviously, but I think the main thing is, it's not that. Sure, if you give them time, they'll learn, dude. These guys are playing the game, like, they play to get good at the game, and they want to kick ass. You know what the problem is? The problem is, I think the raid community can be really harsh on the newer players. That's my opinion. Also, LG puts so many restrictions on joining hard for new guys to join. Absolutely agreed. Actually, you've pretty much got it perfectly, Whiskey Main. Perfectly. And I think because the raid community can be quite harsh, this scares away the players trying to get into raids. So instead, they play Fractals. Okay? And I'm guaranteeing you right now, there's going to be a lot of options for Fractals because it's Fractals. Everyone loves to do dailies, especially on 3am. Look at this. Woo! Look at that. I can literally join any of these right now. I can just join them. Sure, they'll put KP and stuff like that, but not on dailies, only for CMs. That's a difference. There's no like mega see tier 1. Oh, they don't have a warrior? I can join. Oh, okay, maybe they want DPS. I can maybe, oh, I'll join. I'll play DPS warrior. Oh, let's see here. Ooh, CM's tier 4. Ooh, can't DPS after. Okay, I have BS. We can do it. Boom, 50 KP. You know, that's obviously the thing, but there's DWD, a title. The KP thing is getting removed anyway, by the way. I mean, they removed it in Fractals. You know, the reason ArenaNet even removed KP and Fractals is because they want people to actually play the game. They want people to play the game without feeling like they can't play it. Like, everyone has to start somewhere, you know what I mean? Everyone has to start somewhere in Guild Wars 2 when it comes to raiding and when it comes to Fractals, whatever. Everyone has to start somewhere. You want people to play the game, give them a chance. I only played this game for a year, and through this year, I managed to play every single raid boss, every single wing, and I learned it. I had to learn it through raid training. There's no one that would accept me in any looking for group. So I basically had to put extra effort to actually join groups because as a new player, you're never really given those opportunities. You are gonna eat shit early on as a new player if you're trying to raid. They need to rework the way LFG works in raids. They need like a separate category they just need to change LFG, like literally have a group here, raid, and then put like training. Not looking for more, like, let's say raids, training, or low LI or something. I don't know. You have to enable it somehow. And I think there's a lot of raid elitists, and it's okay to play this game like hardcore and be like an elite veteran at raids. That's awesome. You know, that's cool. You know a lot about the game, and that's good. Like, I'm happy for you. It's not like I despise that or anything. That's cool, you know? That's great. But you also need to understand that you gotta start giving people a chance. You gotta. Even sometimes a guy with 100 LI who knows his rotation can be enough for a raid, honestly. It can be enough for a raid. You don't need, like, to rack up LI to be able to join groups all the time. ArenaNet could have done it smarter too. The players just adapted to the situation and made this player-made currency called KP, which never was the intention of ArenaNet to begin with. So that's what happened. And here we are now in 2020. Like, my dream, you know what my dream is? Like, to be able eventually, like, to get a raid train group and just play raids with viewers and just have fun. And literally just like train with them, and like I want to be good at like every single boss, and I would say I can do every single boss in this game in raids. I just don't know every single detail. Like, I didn't know about that 10 stack thing at Matthias. I really had no idea. I never heard of it, never knew it. Did it stop me from killing the boss? No. It's one thing. Well, now I know it, but I was never told or taught that thing. You know? I just know that against this boss, you need Condi Warrior. You can do damage through its shield. You need to reflect. You need to drop the tier, and you need to avoid the crazy running thingies. Like when we talk about having new players actually play raids, I think the community can do something about it at least, or ArenaNet. And the addition to strike missions don't actually help people raid. That's another important thing to note, is that, yeah, people are gonna like do strike missions, but that doesn't mean they're gonna do raids because they're doing strikes. I mean, that was ArenaNet's 300 IQ plan, is like to add strikes to make people raid, and it doesn't actually help. Anyway, all I'm saying is, it's okay to be like a raid elitist and just kick ass in raids and be good at it. There's no problem with that. Just make sure you're going about it the right way when you see new players, because obviously you won't have time to train them, right? But even then, if they know mechanics and they know the rotation, that should be enough to at least get this boss if you're doing pugs. It should be enough. And like, you'd be surprised, there are actually some good players, like 100 Li, and they actually play good. I was 100 Li, and I know my rotation right off the bat, you know, and I would definitely certainly say I've gotten better as warrior. If we're gonna think of a replacement for new players to be raiding in Guild Wars 2, KP should be like with titles, and I think that's a great addition. Instead of like having your bank filled with KP, you can make two things, right? You can add a KP storage if needed, or give the players titles that would tell the other players that, oh, this person killed this boss 25 times, so he has this title for that boss. And this doesn't just apply to raiding, this also applies to CMs. You know, there's Dance with Demons title now, DOD, DWD, those kind of things. I think those titles like give proof that that person has dealt with that boss and understands the mechanics. What's more important is that the player knows the mechanics, not how many times they killed the boss. There's actually a difference between knowing how to deal with the boss, and the other difference is just racking up multiple kills on the boss. And surely that does mean that you have a lot of experience with the boss, and you know, because you killed a lot of times, so you definitely for sure have a lot of experience. But we're talking about pugs, you know, like LFG pugs. You know, this isn't like a raid guild. Knowing mechanics and at least having a few kills on the boss should be enough. It should be enough, because you don't need like 1,000 ally in your bank to be able to do raid bosses. I also say Fractal CM bosses because they also apply. They're a factor to KP. Obviously, there's no LI. There's the KP part. But yeah, Fractal CMs and raids, definitely some of the hardest content for new players to get into. And I just think that if we're to come with a solution, my final solution here, adding titles for CMs for multiple times that you kill bosses, and like make it like a cap limit, and that cap limit, like let's say 150 kills on the boss. 150 kills on Mama, CM, 98 CM. And then that's the last title. That's it. You don't need more than 150 kills on the boss to prove that you can do the boss. You know what I mean? I feel like that's more than enough kills. I feel like if they set like a cap limit and have the title showcase that's how many times you kill the boss, I think that's a great addition. LI is probably not going to be removed. I think LI would stay, but I think adding titles really helps at the very least for KP wise, or add a KP storage for just put it in the bank, because obviously you really fill up with your bank with KP a lot of the times, and having a KP storage would be ideal. But the thing is, ArenaNet is trying to drive away from KP. It's evident with their Fractal update where they removed KP. For CMs, they made it a wallet currency. So makes sense that they would get away from KP storage being a thing, right? So that's why I'm suggesting titles. I think titles is a good way to get players like feel achieved, and they might be able to get into more Fractal CMs that way. And as well for raids, if you kill Gorseval that many amount of times, you get a title for that, and you can show it to the players who ask for it. Ally, if they ask for Ally, they will probably ask you for Ally. I think when it comes to Ally, it's a different story. It just shows experience, and I think that's why raid training is really, really important to have in LFG as a category for people trying to learn. Because it is something that I feel like it needs to be more accessible to the newer player. But yeah, make sure at the very least that you guys check out Crossroads Inn as a Discord server. I'm gonna put it down in the description below so you guys can join it, and hopefully from there you can get into raid trains and just really get into the role, or the role of whatever you want to choose, and just be a master at it in raids. And I just want people to just have a damn blast, you know, in raids. And I feel like as a community we can do a better job at like making people not scared to get into the content that Guild Wars 2 has to offer in terms of raids and Fractal CMs, because those are arguably some of the best content for in my opinion. I've only been playing for a year, so throughout this year I have gained a lot of experience. And yeah, it was hard to get into at the beginning. To start with, it was hard to get into a lot of this content, because they're always asking for KP and LI, and you just don't have it. So you have to get out of your way and just try to go for trains, and from there you just do your thing and learn your best, know the mechanics. It's just the overkill of LI sometimes is what drives people away. I think some players take it a bit too serious, the LI currency, and the whole like, oh, you need to have 100 KP, you can't have 50 KP, even though that's such a like come on, you know. I just feel like 50 KP is enough. You know the mechanics. You don't need to kill it a million times to prove that you know mechanics. That's just my opinion. It's okay if you guys have a different point of view on this, a different opinion, because I understand, right? Again, I understand where you're coming from. If you're like a person that raids often and you say, well, I think 100 KP should be a thing, I understand why you think that. I do. But I'm just saying, for the newer player, you guys want raiding to be like big, right? Like you gotta allow people to, you know, have a good time and enjoy it. And I think 50 KP should be enough instead of your 100 KP request, for example. I'm just saying, like, I think KP wise, if they show that they can do the mechanics, literally, you just try to let them play, and you'll see that they actually do fine, honestly. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I just wanted to make a video about this because I just feel like it's something that I really wanted to talk about as a guy that has been raiding, for, well, half a year at the very least. Because I mean, to get level 80, to get ascended gear, all that stuff, it took a while. So I probably say half a year at this point. This is my full year of playing Guild Wars 2 now. September 2020 marks my first ever year playing, like, for the entire year. It has been since September 2020. And if you really want to see, guys, here's my age on the character. Across all characters, I play for 842 hours. I played this character for 768 hours. So pretty much all my hours are warrior. So I've literally, like, I have like a lot of hours on just warrior. So that alone gives me like a lot of experience already that I know. And even if it means I don't have, you know, 250 LI, I have 176 LI, I think, at the recording of this video. So, oh, we got a randomer here. Hello, sir. You'll be a soldier one day. Look, this random guy just showed up. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. Peace out, y'all.